All right, let's dive into the opening of a book that has stayed with people for generations. S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders. We're going to break down the world, the people in it, and the one single night that changes absolutely everything. And boom, right from that very first sentence, we are dropped straight into the mind of our narrator, Ponyboy Curtis. He's just a kid, 14 years old, loves movies, and all he wants is a safe way to get home. But as you're about to see, in his world, a simple walk is, well, it's never that simple. And here's why. Ponyboy's world is literally split in two. It's this constant battle between social classes, and it's all about where you live, how much money you have, and a whole lot of bad history. Basically, you are one of two things. You're a greaser or you're a sock, no in between. Ponyboy breaks it down for us from his perspective. See, being a greaser isn't just about the long greased back hair, though that's part of it. It's the whole identity. It means you're from the east side, you're poor, and everyone automatically thinks you're a hoodlum, that you're just wilder. And this really lays out that divide, doesn't it? On one side, you have the greasers. They've got their beat-up cars, their jeans, and most importantly, they stick together. On the other side, the socks, which is short for the socials. These are the rich kids from the west side. They drive fancy Mustangs and Corvairs, and they have this really nasty habit of jumping greasers, just for fun.
And that threat? It becomes very, very real, almost immediately. Ponyboy is walking home alone, and suddenly he's surrounded by 5 socks. One pulls a knife. They get him on the ground, a blade to his throat. He's only saved because his own guys show up at the last second and run them off. This is way more than some high school rivalry. This is life and death.
That rescue, it shows us something incredibly important. The greasers aren't just some street gang. For these boys, they're a chosen family. They're bound together by their struggles because, for a lot of them, this gang is the only real family they've got.
So who's in this family? Well, first you've got Derry. He's the oldest Curtis brother, only 20 years old, but he's basically the dad. After their parents died, he gave up a college scholarship to work and keep the family together. He is hard on Ponyboy, and their whole relationship is tense. To Ponyboy, he feels less like a brother and more like a warden.
And then there's Soda Pop, the brother in the middle. He's the total opposite of Derry. He's got movie star looks, he's always smiling, and he just gets people. Soda is the glue that holds the family together, the peacemaker. He's the one Ponyboy feels actually understands him.
Man, this quote from Ponyboy just says it all. This is Johnny Cade, the most vulnerable kid in the whole gang. His home life is awful, and to make it worse, he was once beaten by the socks so badly that he's been a bundle of nerves ever since. The gang is literally his lifeline. They protect him. He's everyone's kid brother. And then you've got Dallas Winston, Dally. He is, without a doubt, the toughest, most dangerous guy in the group. He came from the streets of New York and has a rap sheet a mile long. He's bitter, he's wild, but, and this is important, he has a massive soft spot for Johnny. So let's be really clear about this. This bond is all about survival. Ponyboy says it straight up. They're as close as brothers. They have to be. For a kid like Johnny, who comes from a broken, abusive home, this gang is the only place he has ever felt anything like love or affection. Now things take a really interesting turn at the drive-in movie theater. Ponyboy and Johnny end up meeting a couple of sock girls, and a conversation starts that just begins to chip away at everything Ponyboy thought he knew about the world. And here it is. One of the girls, a cheerleader named Cherry Valance, drops this bombshell on him. After Ponyboy goes on a rant about how easy the socks have it, she just stops him cold. She tells them their money doesn't make them immune to problems. And for the first time, Ponyboy starts to wonder if a sock could actually have it rough too. So what's the real difference, according to Cherry? It's not money, it's feelings. She says the greasers are too emotional. They feel everything way too intensely. But the socks, they have the opposite problem. They're so cool and sophisticated that they feel nothing. They're just numb, desperately searching for something real.
Yeah, well, that little moment of understanding, it gets completely shattered just a few hours later. Ponyboy gets into a huge fight with Derry, runs out of the house, and finds Johnny. They end up in the park trying to cool off, but they're not alone.
Just look how fast a life can unravel. In about 35 minutes, everything goes wrong. A fight at home, Derry hits him, Ponyboy runs. And then the socks show up. The same socks from the drive-in, including Cherry's boyfriend Bob. And they are drunk, and they are looking for a fight. This is it. This isn't a rumble anymore. One of the socks grabs Ponyboy and shoves his head into the freezing water of the park fountain.
He's holding him under. Ponyboy is choking, swallowing water, thinking he's about to die. They are actually trying to kill him.
Suddenly, the weight is gone. Ponyboy is on the ground, coughing up water, gasping for air. And then he hears Johnny's voice, sounding shocked. He looks over and sees Bob, the sock, on the ground, not moving. And Johnny is holding his switchblade. The quiet, terrified kid, the gang's pet, he just saved his friend's life by taking another.
And just like that, a line is crossed that they can never, ever uncross. They aren't just greasers from the wrong side of the tracks anymore. They are killers on the run from the law. And their only instinct is to get away.
They know exactly who they need to find. Dally Winston. He's the only one who's been in this kind of trouble before. And Dally, he doesn't even flinch. He gives them cash, a loaded gun, and a plan. Get on a freight train, head out of town, and hide in an old church on a mountain until the heat dies down. While they're hiding out in this church, totally cut off from the world, Ponyboy watches a sunrise and recites this Robert Frost poem. And Johnny, who's never really thought about stuff like this, is just captivated by it. For Ponyboy, these words suddenly mean everything. It's about how nothing beautiful, nothing innocent, nothing gold can ever last.
And that's really the question that hangs over everything as they hide in that church. They did what they did to survive, but it came at a terrible cost. Their innocence is gone, their childhood is over. So what now? What can possibly be left for them in a world that will never look the same?